Okay, hi everybody. This is Alex Goff from Goff Rugby Report. We are here at the Bowl Series. We're going to be getting ready for the final game, which is Binghamton against Loyola. Before we do that, we've got Ellie from UMass here. University of Massachusetts won 22-19. Brendan, how you doing?
Pretty good.
All right, so congratulations, first of all. Um, Tell me about this game. Very cold, very windy conditions, very physical. Buffalo's big team too. Um, so what was it like for you?
We definitely matched their physicality. They had incredibly hard runners, and we came out to play today and really tried to shut down some of their hard. They're 7, they're 12. We're playing phenomenal. So we just went low, made our tackles. Gave up a little bit too many penalties, I think, in that first half, but pulled through. Luckily.
You had that early try, the kick and chase down with your wing. That was a big one. It sort of gave you a little bit boost. Hey, we can score in these guys.
Yeah, that was huge. I mean, in any game, coming out scoring in the first 10 minutes is massive. Momentum swing, especially in such a big game. You need to get your feet underneath you. And having a 7-point lead there is awesome.
You knew they were going to come back. I mean, you
Yeah.
you knew they were going to come back. What did you talk about halftime in terms of trying to close this game out?
Biggest thing for us was penalties. We were giving up way too many penalties in the rucks. We needed to be able to kind of stay away from that, play defense, hit their guys low, because the more guys we put into the ruck, the more times they were getting good breaks.
Speaking of penalties, you had a penalty that you opted to go for points, which you slotted.
Barely.
And barely, right? The wind is terrible. And did you purposely go sort of like, I'm going to drive it through rather than up in the air?
No, just completely missed it.
Yeah.
No, that was
okay,
100%
no, this
luck.
is when you say it was all part of the plan.
all part of the plan.
All part of the plan.
Yeah, the posts are a little small, too. I wanted to keep it low so they could see that it went in.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was it.
You did win by 3. How important was it just to make that decision?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a numbers game at that point. We're up, I think, we're up 10 at that point, and we decided to take the 3 to go up 13 because that's a tough number to get. 12 if they hit a couple tries and a conversion. So it's really just a numbers game for us. We just sat down, thought it through.
All right, good. And how important is it in this bowl game? You play your ECRC season. You had a really nice season.
Yeah.
What does the bowl game mean for you?
I mean, it's awesome. It's a chance to play teams that we don't usually normally. And being able to kind of come out here, play in a good environment, announcers, great referees, we get a bunch of fans out here from UMass. It's a great experience. I mean, the past couple of years at North Carolina were awesome. This one's just as good. So,
all right, Brendan, congratulations.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All right. All right, guys, while we're waiting for Binghamton against Loyola here in the final Bowl Series game, this is Alex Goff from Goff Rugby Report. I'm with Colton Kells from the University of Buffalo. And Colton, first of all, you guys are swimming against the tide in a really, really tough Rugby East conference. I know it's been difficult sometimes, some losses not easy to take. It builds character, if nothing else. I mean, how has it been?
Yeah, it definitely builds character. I mean, it's tough to take some of the losses that we have over the past few seasons and still have guys coming out to practice every week, and that really speaks to our integrity. Coming out to practice every week when you're taking those losses, and obviously we've gotten more competitive. We've really been building over these past semesters, and it's clearly showing, I think.
What did you want to accomplish here in the Bowl Series? Win, yeah, but...
Well, we knew this would be a chance to get a really competitive game, and obviously it was. And, we're coming out here like any team, looking for our last win, And on a win would be great. And it was a great competitive game. Didn't go the way we wanted. But
what was the difference? Was there one thing you could point to?
I think it was a conglomeration of things, honestly. I think all all things considered, it was a very even game both ways. I mean, the score came out pretty even. They came in, they scored first. I told my team, we got to come out, we got to score first, and then they ended up taking that. So from there, we were on the back foot, so we had to come back from that, and that was tough to do.
Very good. University of Buffalo, UB. I actually played against UB back many millions of years ago. We lost. Buffalo out there in Western New York, the city has always had a chip on its shoulder. What what do you get out of being in the Rugby East? What are some of the things you're sort of fighting for in terms of a rugby program? Maybe respect. I don't know.
Yeah, respect's a thing. Just developing as a team, and then overall as a city. There's a lot of rugby out there in Buffalo, and we're always trying to get better, always trying to improve. So for UB to move up, it was a big step for the whole area. And if you look at the Empire now, we beat two of the top teams this semester, and then in the past when we left it, we were in the middle. So we've definitely made huge gains, and that's what it's all about. It's just improving rugby-wise for the city, for the school, just bringing rugby up.
Fantastic. All right, congratulations. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
At the Bowl Series, introducing the players from Loyola, Maryland. Binghamton's already been introduced, and we will get the coin toss, and then the national anthem. And I'll tell you something, this wind, my friends, has been howling through the fields. We had a table with a covering on it, the table went flying. Kind of a Wizard of Oz moment here. So I don't know if you're going to see a lot of kicking. You never know. But kicking for goal is going to be difficult in this game. Toss, a little discussion as to what we're going to do. It looks like Loyola has said we're not moving, we'll stay on this half.
Good afternoon, rugby fans. This is John Broker, and I am joined by Alex Goff of Goff Rugby Report here for this final URugby Bowl Series matchup. Mazzella Field, Iona College, New Rochelle, New York. Alex, going to be a great day as we're going to watch Binghamton take on Loyola University of Maryland. Pretty exciting matchup. Teams that definitely haven't seen each other before.
Yes.
What's early notes from you?
Well, it feels like we just started with this series, doesn't it? Loyola is their conference champion in National Small College. They're a very good team. They're working on national playoffs in a week, so they look really well put together, really tight. Binghamton won the Empire Conference. The issue people raised an eyebrow at is last week they played AIC and they lost, get this, 110 to nothing. Now, we're gonna. There are some mitigating factors in that game. Kevin Dublin, the coach, about it. First of all, he said we kicked. We decided to kick. It turns out that wasn't such a good idea against AIC. Then he ran in the subs in the second half, and really the game devolved from there. He said they haven't even talked about that game. Discussed it with the coach, with the captains for like just a couple of seconds. Said they've put it out of their minds. They're here to win this one.
All right. And Binghamton, wearing the dark green, elects to kick off. And Loyola, Maryland, in the white with green stripes here, comes down with it in front of the 10-meter line. And referee looking Austin Britt, one of the good local referees here from the New York area, taking control of this match as Binghamton looks to move quickly there.
The guy to look out for Binghamton, Nick Coppola, number 20. He is their captain, co-captain. He is a prop forward. He's not tall for a prop, but boy is he powerful and smart.
Binghamton really get a fast start here as they're pushing players back on it as Loyola, Maryland, an errant kick there by Nicky Bonelli, I believe. Yeah, let me get his name right. Nicky Bonelli.
Yeah, it looked like Nicky Bonelli went over to try and control it, and it just bounced off his knee and rolled out, and that worked out great for Binghamton. That's why I don't mind the kick to the corner. You know, we're going to put them under pressure.
And here the ball up. The ball doesn't go to hand there as Loyola come up with the ball. And we're going to have our first scrum of the game here to Loyola. Alex, this is always an interesting part of the game. You know, state school generally has more kids, generally has a bigger size set of forwards.
Right.
You know, Loyola, Maryland, Jesuit school out of, well, Maryland obviously, is, tends to be a bit smaller. So this battle of the scrum should be really interesting.
I don't know. These Loyola kids look pretty muscular. Maybe it's just the horizontal stripes and the white jerseys.
It could be. And early scrum here for Loyola as their scrum half. Big fella there is Will Kinzer. And kicked away, not making much room. We're going to have another Binghamton line out just inside the 22 as the Binghamton forwards gather.
I was listening to the Binghamton players do their jerseys. They circled up, and then a different player would call out something about the player who's to pick up the jersey. And I heard one of them just say, "No, you can't have any of my chicken parmesan." I don't know what that means. There's a story there somewhere.
Yeah, there's definitely a story there somewhere.
Maybe out in Binghamton, New York, chicken parmesan is like a currency.
Yeah, it could be. Maybe it's Buffalo has their wings. Maybe they have their chicken parm. But we'll see here as we're going to have another line out to Binghamton. A couple of dance moves as they come to the front. And up they go.
It's a nice pass from Coppola.
Scrum half who puts it in. And the ball's out into the centers there. But running on his own, finding a gap is their inside center, Greg Linane, which I hope I'm pronouncing properly. And Binghamton, a couple of errant bobbles there, but still maintaining possession.
Linane's a good runner for Binghamton.
Loyola found to be not rolling away by referee Britt. Binghamton in front of the posts.
We might see for points. We're going to go for points. Brandon Healy, the fly half for Binghamton, is a very good goal kicker. And, in fact, he kicked the conversion to win the conference final, 21-20 over Syracuse. He has given them full value on their tries this season. He kicks for points. They have huge amount of confidence in his ability to kick.
And today in the booth, we may also be joined from time to time by Matt McCarthy of Rugby Wrap-Up and Ryan Trost of This Is American Rugby. Again, the pleasure of the weekend getting to work with three media legends in their own right.
It's been fun.
It's
really
beautiful.
fun work with everybody, and we all sort of approach it a little differently.
I need to attach myself to a website, so I have something to say. And here is the early kick. And Alex, it goes over. We're 3-0 here as Binghamton University pulls ahead.
Well, again, Healy is a good kicker. Even in this wind, that was pretty close, and he gets some height on there. He's got good technique, and he's very consistent. They have a lot of faith in him. And if they can do that, and they can put pressure on there and get penalties, this is the first game, I think, where you say it really is on the goal kicker. And I know the last game, a penalty goal was kind of critical, but you could see Healy kick 5 of them.
And Healy, Gaelic football player in his younger days. Be some of his kicking. A great take there by the number 7, Brett Rothberg from Binghamton. A nice kickoff there by Loyola. And penalty again against Loyola coming in the side here. A lot of early penalties going their way. And
We got a little back chat. Chippy.
unusual from a student from a Jesuit school to get that back chat, but referee Britt wants to let everybody know right away not to mess with his authority. And we're going to have a kick here from Healy down into the corner. Line out for Binghamton in a great attacking position.
Yeah, he got some full value on that. We've seen a lot of attitude this weekend. I wouldn't say negative attitude, but we've seen a lot of attitude. And some chirping at each other, stuff like that, shoving around. It's just that's sort of the way that the guys are approaching it.
And the hooker, Pierce Butler, puts the ball in there for Binghamton and gets it away to that prop wearer, number 20. And here looking for a little space through the midfield. And onto the number 13, Matt Richards. As Binghamton looking to get some quick ball again inside the zone here. There's number 7 there, Brett Rothberg. Second or third carry early on in this game. And Binghamton pressures on. Let's see if Loyola can withhold
There goes
here.
Coppola.
And Coppola right through the middle. Alex Goff talks about him. Minutes later, he's scoring tries. And it is Nick Coppola, the Northeast Academy select player. And
He's
really opening right up here is Binghamton.
He's a squat little prop, but he plays some 7s. He's a good athlete. He is. I've interviewed him. He's an intelligent young man, and he's one of the leaders of the team. You saw he gets a really nice pass off the base of that line out, and just burst onto that ball to go in pretty much untouched. And the last thing, John, we saw this. We've seen some issues with this all weekend. Body position. He went low early to slide in and score.
And there was nobody who was going to be able to grab him from there. As Loyola University, Maryland, really under pressure here.
Coppola is also working toward his MBA. He's in an accelerated program to work on his MBA, Industrial and Systems Engineering.
This is engineer after engineer out here. Kick is good by Healy. Healy now puts a team ahead. Binghamton 10, Loyola 0 at this URugby Bowl Series matchup. 8 minutes in, 10 points in it, Alex. We headed towards a run-up here.
Well, if I'm the coach of Loyola, I'm saying, you guys haven't touched the ball. How about we get the ball and see what we can do? And I think they just not be patient about trying to steal the ball. If the steal isn't there, if the poach isn't there.
And lots of ball up in the air as the number 2, Griffin Ryan, comes down with it for Binghamton. And Binghamton on a charge one again, and there's a try scorer, Coppola. No relation to the famous director, I'm sure. And a little option pass out there to Hunter Ryder. Multi-sport player in high school. And nearly the first touch of the ball for big Ashken Asemi, but bobbles it, knocks it forward. We're going to have a scrum here to Loyola. Ashken Asemi, very hard to miss with that big blonde hairdo. Comes out of a boxing and wrestling background.
That's actually an egregious hairdo, but he snatched at it. I'll forgive the hairdo if he catches that ball. He snatched at the ball a little bit, but this is the first time this entire game, and we're or 8.5 minutes in, that Loyola can get first phase possession.
And Loyola here. Kinzer ready to set the ball down. Kinzer, the political science major from Parsippany, New Jersey. Moves it away to number X, but we'll figure out who that is.
I'm guessing that's a Roman numeral.
Their fly back there. Daniel Giannisconi. Thought they'd just like to be a little different as a knock on there from Loyola. Trouble in the early days here for them, as it's going to be another Binghamton scrum.
Remember in the old days, Leicester used to wear letters?
Yes. A friend of mine on tour always wanted to get us jerseys that had phrases if we all stood in the right place. That would be to say a bunch of rugby players could stand in the same place all the time. So really dangerous days making that happen.
And then, of course, the fabled Atlantis program, they use the Roman numerals, which I love that.
Yeah. And ball slips away there, but referee Britt spots something. We're going to come back. It's going to be another scrum here for Binghamton.
Yeah, that rolled right out of the tunnel.
Right out.
And he saw it, which didn't seem like it looked like he was unsighted, but he saw it. And, you know, Loyola tried to run a really complex backline play, ended up losing the ball. And, you know, I think, you know, let's start simple. Let's walk before we can run against a team we've never seen before.
And some pressure there in the scrum. A nice wraparound move. And there is Healy. Healy, wow, just tremendously able to get that ball away to his fullback, Connor Horan. And Binghamton once again finds himself well inside Loyola territory. Loyola struggling to get back. Front football here as one of their second rows comes up. Binghamton, that's number 4, Nick Marino.
The ball
Loyola
hit the
turns
deck
it
there,
over.
but that was a very pretty backline move, and Healy was right in the middle of all of that.
Finding some good space there in the early days as Binghamton, as Will Kinzer finds some space up back, chips it over the top. Well done by him. And a big chase by him as well. Seems to be doing a lot on his own right now, but stepped. And Binghamton puts it back to the fullback there. That's Nicky Benelli. Benelli puts it back. We got a little game of ping pong on our hands. Eventually rolls out. We're going to have inside their own 22 a Binghamton scrum. Good work there by Loyola to realize, hey, we need to kick this away and play down their end of the field.
Well, finally getting, you know, if they don't have possession, let's go for field position at least. Try to put a little bit of pressure on Binghamton. Right now, Binghamton is not playing with that much, as if they're under that much pressure. We did see the mistake out there in the 22, and that was more of a, you know, trying to do too much with it and trying to too hard with it. And, you know, you look at this Binghamton team, and these tight 5 forwards are working backline moves. They're looking very comfortable with it.
And an errant ball over the top there winds up in Loyola's hands, and Loyola now with a great attacking opportunity, just about 10 meters out. And ball into the hands of Gianniscoli. Gianniscoli moves it out. Their number 13, great run there by the outside center from Loyola, and fantastic play there by
Danilo Guratowski. He's a freshman, and he just camped out there on the outside waiting for that pass from Gianniscoli, but it comes from a mistake in the line out, an overthrow, rescued from at the back of the line out.
And tremendous there from the freshman biology. Zavarian brothers outside of Boston, very big sports school, good rugby program there that he's come out of, and it really shows his class just getting around the outside of somebody there and touching the ball down. I was up at the Zavarian athletic complex this past year for a game, just fantastic. Tons of NFL players come out of that. All the Patriots kids go to that school, just a great program. You know, the facilities are top-notch, and it shows right there as Loyola takes the benefit from it.
Well, as we said, you know, Loyola hasn't had the ball that much, and in this case, they use the pressure, field position, and your hooker, put your thrower under pressure to make a perfect throw in the line out. Didn't happen. Then they're able to push that turnover ball, some of your best attacking ball, and it just really quickly sent out. Nice work from the fly half. Danny G. Gianniscoli.
Danny Gianniscoli can't hit that one, the Malvern Prep grad, as the score is Binghamton 10, Loyola 5, here in this URugby Bowl Series matchup.
Well,
Little life for Loyola there, huh? They finding out
So-
that they can hang.
sophomore to freshman, the link to set that up. And now we have a ball game, which we expected.
Going to kick off through Healy. Let's see what this Gaelic football player can do. And puts it up into the hands of Brian Gannon. As the ball comes out to number 6,
Colorado Lynn.
Christopher Colorado Lynn from Regis Jesuit High School in Colorado. And
He's got a bit of a Game of Thrones look about him, don't
he
you think?
certainly does. That's
It's a mane of hair.
another great haircut.
It's either that or like a heavy metal hairband type thing.
And there's Vincent Soretti, the wing, brings it in, and Loyola on the run here, just on the roll here, just about 35 meters out. Well one ball, and there's Gianna Scoli with a ball he can't handle, probably didn't want. He's going to move it out to the fullback. Chips ahead, regathers. I thought it was at first a pretty bad kick there, but he certainly seemed to come up with it.
I would have
And-
liked to have seen a semi come and grab that on the bounce. He didn't look like he wanted any part of it.
Messy contact area there, and referee Britt says play on. And off we go as Binghamton on the roll once again through Chet Curtis. But Curtis doesn't release, or one of his teammates comes in with their hands in, and we're going to have a penalty here. Gianna Scoli, ball in hand. We'll see what Loyola chooses to do.
You know, John, I have to say with the done a terrific job this weekend, and one of the things I really like is how they've handled the advantage law. And we've seen a lot of things, especially just little problems back and forth. Let's continue to play rugby. Nobody wants to do scrums all day. Or maybe there's one guy who wants to. I think they've done very well in managing the game and being fair, but allowing things to just go, and at the same time being consistent. And they're a good advantage, but then you get your obvious penalty. If you're isolated and somebody gets hands on the ball, that holding on penalty or the hands in the rut penalty is always going to get called.
Yep. And line out here for Loyola, batted back by Binghamton. Binghamton moves it across the field, right in the face of their own line, and the ball comes down to number 11, Patrick Finch, who may not be Patrick Finch. I think it's somebody I coached, but we'll see in a moment as the ball comes back in. It'll be Alejandro Castillo out there. The ball down to Gianna Scoli.
One was caught by the wind, it looked like. They almost lost it.
Yeah, this is not a game for long passes right now with this wind.
No.
And we're going to have a scrum here for Loyola.
Scrum half putting it in for Loyola. There's the 8-man
Yeah,
pick.
Great pick off the back there goes Jimmy Cahill, Jimmy Kyle. Whichever pronunciation is
I
right,
think
takes it
Cahill.
forward. Another Cahill we're going to go with. And ball to the back of a contact area there. Referee Britt spots an errant play by one of the Binghamton players, and off we go as I decide to go quick. Definitely not 10 there.
No, they're not even close to
Number
10.
7, Brian Wright brings it in. And penalty there, and referee Britt's going to hold it up. I think he wants to have a little bit of a chat here with some of
Yeah.
the Binghamton players, and great try by Brian Wright.
Cahill was ready to go again quickly. Cahill is a 3-time MVP of this Loyola team and the captain. He played for Fordham Prep as well. A Yonkers native.
Or as they like to say, Yonkers.
Yonkers.
And here we go, ball into the big number 1's hand. Justin Delcher, communications major. Well held up there.
Even communications majors need better body position.
Ashton Ashkemi. Oh, ball drops out of their hands there of Gianna Scoli, but I think he did kick that. I think he's okay. But Binghamton with the ball just outside of their own zone here is making it out of jail free as Healy looks to kick it a touch, but found some space and not well handled there by the Loyola wing.
I love how these Binghamton guys keep this ball alive. They're not very big,
Yes.
and they're able to pop it up when they get into contact.
I'm a little surprised by that. They're not a bit bigger than they are, to be quite honest. I was expecting Binghamton to be a good-sized team. And they got some decent fellows, but
They're,
not in the height department.
well, hey, your prop's 5'9". He said, I was interviewing him. I said, "How tall are you?" He goes, 5'9". Could you put down 5'10"?
Yeah, we always wanted to be 6 feet, but we weren't. And Healy goes for a strange side, gets knocked forward. Loyola, clear left-hand side here if they can pick it.
That is quite some counter-rucking there from Hunter Reeder.
That's the second time he's been highly involved in a counter ruck like that. Good, tough kid.
Good right or good work. We're going to have a scrum here for Loyola.
You know, Healy's a good kicker, but he pulled his eyes up to send that one kick there. I also think, I believe this is actually true. Going back to what some people have said to me, you know, in the Empire Conference especially, people are not used to full-size fields. We've got a full-width field here, and he's missed touch that he was aiming for a couple of times because maybe he was thinking about the other touchline.
And
Whoa,
Luke
there goes.
Preston there. Phenomenal handoff by the inside center. Nearly brought down by the neck. We have a penalty advantage coming, but Preston says, I don't think I need that. Let's keep playing. And off we come as Loyola stays on the run. There's the Colorado kid right there. Number 6, Christopher. Lynn brings it in, and Gianniscoli spots some space inside the 22. Not sure if they still have penalty advantage, but the ball rolls towards the side and eventually rolls into touch, and we'll see what referee Britt wants to do. He's going to come back for the penalty.
Luke Preston, great run from him. He's a senior. He's a co-captain. He runs his own business. He played rugby in Ireland for a semester when he was a semester abroad at University College in Cork. And he looked really full of purpose, full of energy in that run.
Connecticut kid playing for Aspatuck Rugby. We're going to come back for the penalty as Gianniscoli calms things down a little bit here for this Loyola side. Gianniscoli looks like he's going to kick it. And does, as we're going to have a Loyola lineout down in the corner. Just about 5 meters out. Nice attacking position for these boys.
It's 18 minutes left in the first half. 10-5. Binghamton's leading Loyola.
Hooker Higgins goes further to the tail of the lineout, and Loyola looks to drive it here. See how they do. But quickly picked off the back. And off they go right out to Gianniscoli. Gianniscoli, Preston, the good runner. Can't quite squeeze through that time. Takes a couple players down with them. They have room on the right if they want it. And here we go, Gianniscoli. Well done. Smart look into the gap there. And loads of players out to the right-hand side there for Loyola as Binghamton comes in to try to spoil.
A lot of guys standing off. I think they needed somebody to consolidate possession, first of all.
Yeah, Binghamton able to come up with that one after the ball pops in the air. And Binghamton through Healy clears his lines. He gets out of jail there, and just the 22. We're going to have a line out here for Loyola.
I think these Loyola guys are used to winning their rucks a little bit more easily than they are here. And like I said, a few 3 or 4 tight 5 forwards standing off waiting for a pass. Let's get one of those bodies in there and make sure you win that ruck first of all.
And Loyola now calling their runners in. The big number 8 there, Jimmy Cahill from Fordham Prep. And Loyola takes the ball down. As the wing gets that one, but Gianniscoli does a great job to hang on to it. Gets it on their outside center ball, and the wing is Castellan's bobbled.
And this is a little thing that we've seen throughout the weekend. It's a young person's mistake. It's a young man's mistake, which is that things are not going perfectly, and you try to grab it on the run and try to make it continue to go. You know, that movement was supposed to score a try, and it didn't, but I'm still going to try and score a try. The ball rolling around, you know what? Just make sure you grab it, maybe go to ground, and accept that it didn't go your way. Recycle, start over. Your left wing, Patrick Frick, he just needed to gather that ball. You see, he was still trying to score that try.
Pierce Butler, the scrum half for Binghamton, puts it in, gets it to Healy. Healy gets it into his midfield, and looking to go wide quick is this Binghamton team into the fullback's hands. That's Connor Horan. And a very tight defense from Loyola here. There's room on the outside if Bingham chooses to go that way. And again, this Loyola defense is staying in tight. And Healy decides he'd rather attack that tight defense and look into the wider channels. And here we go again through Butler. Butler gets it to Griffin Ryan, captain of his high school football team, but Ryan knocks it on in the contact there. And Loyola has an advantage here. Let's see what they can do with it. They move it into that big number 8's hands, Jimmy Cahill. And there is Kinzer. Finds a space around the back, and if this bounce goes correct, unlucky there for Kinzer. Kinzer chasing his own kick. And now Binghamton has the advantage. Binghamton has the advantage, has a little bit of space. And the number 7, Brett Rothberg.
Oh, right up the middle. Nobody with him, though.
Breaks there, and it ends up getting that offload off there. Number 12, that is Greg Linane. Greg Linane gets taken down, and again, ball pops out and gets pulled over. It's gone back for Loyola. Loyola once again on the attack. A bit of a turnover ball going on here. And again, a turnover here is Binghamton.
These guys got to take care of the ball. Linane was the only one who noticed that break was happening and went right in. Good for him. We got to still take care of it.
And here we go through 13. That is Matt Richards. Matt Richards heads toward the try line off a little pass from Healy. They finally find some space after a lot of sloppy ball from both teams.
Yeah,
try awarded.
Broken play, and the dummy and the run up by Pierce Butler, that was a good one. Second, he looked up and he saw somebody, and even though that pass went back several meters, Linane was there. That got them into the half. He lost contact, but then Loyola, they're rushing it a little bit too. Eventually, nobody's in alignment. Are we on defense? Are we on offense? What are we doing? And there you see the calm nature of Brandon Healy just slides out, runs sideways a little bit, has a look, and sees he's got some mismatches there. Richards able to cut back through a little gap.
Healy from right out in front.
Well, we great goal kicker, and he just missed it from the middle. And
he malloyed that.
Well, what happened partly like that is the charge, and I want to see the player who came out and charged and tried to charge him down. It made him change it. He tried to hook it over the charging player, and he did, but he also hooked it to the left, and that was a nice job from Luke Preston.
And it's 15-5 here at this URugby Bowl Series matchup between Binghamton and Loyola University of Maryland. Binghamton has the ascendancy, the 10-point lead, just about 15 minutes or a little less to go in this half here at Iona College. John Broker here with Alex Goff, bringing you this matchup. Stay tuned for our wrap-up show with our ever-famous favorite name segment afterwards as Binghamton bobbles that kickoff, and Loyola in a good attacking position. If they can make it work, there's space on both sides. Binghamton forwards really bunched up right there as Kinzer goes in to dig it out, puts it into Justin Delcher's hands. Big Justin Delcher, the number 1, moves it forward and then moves it on. As digging it out again there is Kinzer. Kinzer to Gianniscoli. Gianniscoli moves it to his outside center.
Oh, and a great tackle called, causing a turnover there.
And another turnover here. Judging by this game, it won't be long until Loyola turns it over. As
I think that was Matt Richards who did the tackle. He drove his shoulder into the legs, and then he flipped around and spun him around as a perfect wrestling move, and it caused that turnover.
One of the Binghamton forwards comes barreling off there, makes a few meters. And now ball to Healy. Healy going to put the boot to it this time. See if Castillo can handle it better, and does not.
Went backwards.
Tough day out there. Ball's going back. Oh, the referee said the ball's going backwards there. And the ball's come back around into the hands of Nicky Bonelli.
And Bonelli gets pushed, so he steps on the touchline. And at the same time, he tries to pass it back in field really hard, and it bounces right off Preston's face. And Preston gave him a look. I mean, you know, what's going on, man? What are you doing? What are you doing to me?
Just in our blind corner down there, as we're going to have a Binghamton lineout just about 6 meters out from their own zone here. Loyola plays it well. They can capitalize on this. A lot of pressure either way, but they come down with it and drive forward, and a rolling maul there. There's a big fella, Nick Coppola, down, and Healy running out of his own zone here. And we'll see, we got a 2-on-1 on the outside if we can convert here. Aaron pass, and it's scooped up by number 14. From
Running
Loyola.
too flat in support.
Yeah, didn't have a little space there.
You didn't really have much of a margin of error. If you run deep there, if you're a wing, aren't you supposed to be able to accelerate and run quickly onto a ball? You should run deep and get the ball in front of you and then accelerate onto it.
A little misplaced as we're going to slow down here, and Binghamton has knocked the ball forward, so we have a scrum for Loyola. You know, turnovers just the story of this game. There's no one able to really consolidate the ball. Both teams very good, looking to play adventurous rugby, but if anybody could just consolidate this and, you know, really make something happen, they'd really take the ascendancy. But
no, I would tell these guys to simplify it a little bit. You know, your hands are cold. It really does hurt the ball handling, but it's just the over-eagerness sometimes.
Gianna Scoli outrun by a couple of his decoy runners. Gianna Scoli has to move across the field and gets the ball to Bonelli. Bonelli chips it ahead, and the foot races on as Bonelli heading in there, but ball taken in, and what thought wrapped around the neck was Connor Horan. But Binghamton now from their own zone through Hunter Ryder, he of the two-tone hair. And here we are, another turnover. And here is the big number 4 for Loyola, barreling towards the line and brought in a touch. We're going to have another Binghamton line out in that corner. And here we are again. Turnover after turnover.
Well, Ryder was given the ball, which was fine. He tried to make a run for it, but DiGirolamo was looking at the fact that he had all that expanse of green in front of him, and he really should have been behind Ryder, because once Ryder was caught, he had nobody to give the ball to, nothing he could do other than lie there and either give up a penalty or give up the ball. Eventually, though, somebody came barreling across, and I didn't quite see who, made a tackle to make sure they didn't give up a try, and that looks like that might have been Griffin Ryan.
And here we are, break off the back and try awarded there for Loyola through their number 8, Jimmy Cahill, the Fordham Prep finance major from Yonkers, touches it down, and Loyola keeping it close here, Loyola University, Maryland, and that brings us a 15-10 Binghamton over Loyola. Kick to come from Gianna Scoli.
It's the first time I've seen just a real straight-ahead 8-man pick for the try. Yeah, how many scrum fives have we seen this weekend? We haven't seen too many where we just have the 8-man pick it up and go. They've got a good scrum, Loyola does, and Cahill is kind of your classic number 8. He's a big boy. He can run. And, you know, if he takes a few steps, gets up ahead of steam, really difficult to stop him.
I think you were less surprised than the Binghamton defense, who let him right through there into the try zone.
Right.
And we'll see if Gianna Scoli in the swirling wind can put them within 3 points with about 8 minutes to go in the half.
This all came from a mistake, remember. This all came from them running, Binghamton running out of their own end, and then having a miscue between 13 and 11.
And Gianna, no problem. Gianna Scoli gets it 15-12. Loyola now trailing, but just a few minutes ago, they've been playing a lot of this game, Alex, down in this Binghamton half. The wind is slightly at Binghamton's back at the moment, too, which will change things in the second half.
I would think Coach Kevin Dublin is saying, okay, so we tried to run out of our 22, and it failed. We got the ball. And then when we somehow rescued that problem, we tried to run our own goal. It failed, and we gave up the ball, and then we gave up a try. Have you got the message now?
I think it should bring you in for halftime, Alex. I think that would really help it. And there's Cahill. He's a pretty big unit, that boy.
Yikes.
6 foot 225. As nothing happened, referee is going to award the scrum here to Loyola University, Maryland.
You know, that's good refereeing, too, because Coppola was over the ball, and maybe there was a holding on penalty, but then the support comes in and throws him to the ground. Now Coppola's off his feet, But is he really committing a penalty? He was legal until they smooshed him into the ground. So instead, just say, you know what, ball's not coming out. Scrum to the team that took the ball in. It looks like, I bet you we've got a blood sub here on
Cahill.
Cahill. They need the sub part of the blood sub. Right now we have a blood leaving the field, but they may be waiting for him to take care of it right then and there.
I think we have the change coming on. The way he's playing, they should be able to replace Cahill with 2 men. Couldn't get the number there. We'll see who it is, but hopefully Cahill's all right and will be back on the field.
Well, they moved Brian Wright to number 8 to the back of the scrum.
And King once again to Gianna Scoli. Gianna Scoli high in there. Great chase there by a pretty coordinated backline from Loyola. Ball gets knocked out of the hands of the Loyola fullback and winger in front of him. We have a penalty here for Loyola. Fantastically played there, and just a little mistake as the ball popped forward. And Loyola once again in a great attacking position.
Loyola playing with purpose right now. And I think that we've seen a few games like this, but Binghamton has really been in their own half for quite a large portion of this game since they got, they broke out and scored that one try.
Yep.
But really, since they scored those first 10 points, they've really been stuck in their own end. The kicks from Healy not going as far as they would hope they would. He hasn't made touch a couple of times, little problems like that.
Ball in the middle of the lineup there is Jack Longest. Brings it down, and midfield a little messy. Knock-on going to be Binghamton ball. A little just maybe too adventurous there.
Good leading pass. He's supposed to accelerate onto it. He reached for it instead. Again, cold hands. Maybe that comes to hand in the balmy climes of Maryland, but up here in upstate New York doesn't quite happen that way. Is this upstate? Does Westchester County count as upstate?
We're not upstate here. We're pretty close to the water. The
It's-
only thing south of here is Long Island. And there is Wright breaking off the back. Or sorry. Yeah, there was Wright breaking off the back there, and Loyola on the charge once again. Alex, we're not even in mid-state here. We're still in lower New York. That's okay.
Upstate, I think of upstate as not New York City. And then Western New York.
Westchester pretty much thinks of themselves as New York City, so you.
Well, there you go.
Alex, of course, in the Pacific Northwest. Golf Rugby Report, and here is Binghamton, yet another turnover. They got some space on the outside here if Healy wants to see it, but Healy wants to have a go on his own and nearly isolated, but gets the pop away to his outside center. Richards, and here's the big fella, can't hang on to that one.
That's a
Healy
good
just has
choice
to
from Healy,
flip it
actually.
away.
There wasn't anything going on, so let's get some territory going.
Nicky Benelli hoofs one up into the air inside the 22. Fielded by his opposite number, able to step him. And Colorado, Lynn comes in and makes that tackle. Regis product just outside of Denver.
Coached by Zach Finolio.
And here we go on the run. See if they can make another long break before the half. As this seems to be one of the good points here for Binghamton. Pretty athletic team, pretty
Much better from them
eager to
this
run.
time.
And Healy again shows and goes, and again the door gets shut on him.
Well, he was of two minds of that pass. He shouldn't have thought about pass there. He was taken down directly to the ground on his stomach. It's really hard to pass from the ground when you're lying on your stomach.
Yeah.
So just place it and work it from there. But
Yeah.
that was much better. Running with purpose, running with aggression. I see Cahill's come back on the field, so they've fixed his blood problem. The player who came on for him, by the way, was wearing a number that is not on our roster list. So I'm afraid he was wearing number 25, and our roster goes up to 23. So I'd like to mention his name, but I can't.
We'll just call him Alex Goff. And off we go here is Gianna Scoli. Gianna Scoli, no one to pass to, has to take it into contact on his own. Ball moved away after Kinzer feeds a couple of his forwards. Binghamton players trying to get over that ball. Nearly hands in there, got to be careful. As Chris Lynn, the freshman, takes it in again. Pretty heavy impact is Lynn. And block kick there by Binghamton.
Healy came right in. He
Yeah.
saw that coming, and that was kind of a lazy, slow kick from Janiscoli.
Yeah, and ripped right out of the hands there is Brett Rothberg for Binghamton. And Binghamton now on the roll right at the 22 here. And sloppy, sloppy, sloppy is the name of this game right now. It is a little wild from both teams.
Yeah, they want to play fast. I understand that they want to play fast, but at the same time, you got to make sure that it's all taken care of. You
Wanting
take that
to and being able to might be two
yeah,
different
well,
things
there is
sometimes.
that. But I was told that Nick Coppola was a good rugby player. He is a good rugby player, and I'm very impressed with how he gets around the field and he gets his team going forward. Healy, it all comes through Healy. I think sometimes he just needs to take a little bit more time, and you see sometimes Flyhouse maintaining their depth so they can make some decisions.
In the midfield as Loyola, another run for it. And the big outside center says, you know what, I'm just going to bash this one in myself as Gerwatowski. And Jimmy Cahill, a fast favorite of ours in this game.
I'm also impressed with Preston, the inside center. And that little weave he does, it does so much where you're faced with a 2-on-2, so you do a little weave so you focus on the outside defender. So now it's you are the one-on-2, and then just dish it off. And suddenly there's somebody who's able to get through a hole.
Scrum here late in this first half at this URugby Bowl Series matchup. Binghamton to put it in. Here's Butler,
Cahill ejecting the thing that stopped his nose from bleeding out of his nostril. Delightful.
Yeah. And here's a pick around the back as they put the ball into Ryder's hands. Ryder makes it to the 22, but hauled down by Christopher Lynn. Christopher Lynn, just a big work rate here. We've seen some this weekend, sing for Buffalo. A couple other flankers, not the biggest flankers out there, but just work rate have really had a big effect on the game. And Lynn is certainly one of those in my book.
Very much so. Good tackle, because really that's a try-saving tackle.
Kyle Higgins, the hooker from Delbarton High School in New Jersey.
Excellent rugby program there.
Good program down there. In the middle of five brothers in the pecking order, so he certainly knows how to take a physical challenge. And off Gianna Scoli has a fair bit of room, puts it to the left, bounces it out just past midfield, and well done there to get out of trouble by Loyola. 15-12, no time on the clock. We're on referee Britt's watch right now.
Absolutely brilliant kick from Janiscoli. You look at how much he gained from that, probably about 45 meters.
And now again the hooker. Butler to throw in. And the oh, what a pickoff there. We were just talking about Higgins. Delbarton High School will be cheering as Higgins gets corralled into touchdown in the left-hand corner and is still down.
Well, that is once too many times to the well. That has been what Binghamton has done every time, is they win it they bop it down off the top to Coppola, and Coppola sends a wide flat pass out wide, and this time they just read it because that's what they've been doing, and I think that's halftime. And look, we've got the trainers over, but I think he's on his feet and just a little bit shaken up, but almost something blowing up in the face of Binghamton.
Well, that's halftime here at this URugby Bowl Series matchup. Binghamton University 15, Loyola University Maryland 12. I'm John Broker with Alex Goff. We're going to be back in a few minutes with the second half of this absorbing contest.
What's special is that it has everything that makes academic medicine great. We have the fellowship-trained specialists, but we still bring the style and type of medicine that's indicative of a community practice.
We are all trained in our area of interest and expertise, so our patients see a doctor who specializes in their particular injury.
I did have 2 consults with major New York City hospitals, but I just felt that the care was best here. I was treated like a rock star. The surgery exceeded any expectations that I had.
Okay, welcome back to the URugby Bowl Series matchup between Loyola University of Maryland in white and green, and in green, Binghamton University. This is John Broker with Alex Goff of Goff Rugby Report, report.com, and check it out for all your rugby news. And we're set to kick off here, absorbing first half, a little bit of sloppy play, Alex, but 15-12 to Binghamton. We got an exciting 40 minutes to come.
We certainly do. The matchups have been great. You know, close games every year. They're close games. It's some kind of magic juju that they work to actually make sure that these teams are well matched up.
Ciano magic.
Yeah, I think both of these teams probably said to each other, "Let's cut down our errors."
That would be. There we go. And Binghamton, the early possession of the ball here. Bodies flying all over the place as it moves out to Healy. Oh, nice little pass there by Healy under a lot of pressure to Ashkin Semi, a 4-year varsity wrestler in high school. Also participated in the New York City Golden Gloves
Coppola.
competition. And here goes Coppola. Coppola the prop.
Oh, steamrolling
Taking a
right
break,
now.
And he's got a pass on, and the pass goes into Greg Linane's hands. And early in the second half, under a minute, Greg Linane, the inside center, and
Just like they
Almost
drew it
broke
up
there.
on the training ground.
Yep.
That is beautiful. You use your big bulky prop to get yourself moving a little bit, and then get a mobile forward. In this case, it's the other prop. Coppola really can move around, and he cuts right through that first channel, and he keeps going. He has got a nice turn of pace and the skills. And these are, we talked about being in the development academy. He executed a 2-on-1, and how many backs have we seen not able to do that? He's got his teammate with him, just pops it out. Beautiful pass, Linane. It finishes it off. But that was, for the most part, all Nick Coppola.
all right, we had some roster mistakes there on Loyola during the first half. On behalf of John Broker and Alex Goff, I can only say you get what they give us.
Right, and
So we got numbers the way they were numbered.
twice
on
we've
the
had
third.
the error as
Somebody
the kick goes over, by the
Yeah.
way.
So 12 is Frick, 13 is Preston, 14 is Garrett, who is now out of the game. 11 is indeed Alejandro Castillo, the Fairfield Prep product.
So, my apologies. Luke Preston scored the try
And is having a very good game, Luke
and
Preston.
is playing very well. And
Or Frick,
Patrick
actually.
Frick is also playing very, very well, and was the one who had that really nice pass and draw and pass to get his team out of trouble earlier.
So Loyola fans and support wants to help them to get their jersey numbering right next year so we can make the proper calls. Feel free to come here to Iona College, Mazzella Field, Mazzella Stadium, as we move forward 22-12 to Binghamton in no short order in the second half. And there's got a lot of work ahead of them for Loyola, as again Coppola barrels across the midfield, still going. He is just a powerful runner. My
You look
words
at
are starting to go
look
late
at
this
the legs on this
broadcast
guy.
weekend.
It puts me in mind of T.T. Lamasatelli, who plays for the USA national team, and I'm not saying he's a national team player, but that same power, all his weight is between his knees and his hips, and he has, he makes him good in the scrum, good in lifting the line out, and he can power through those tackles too.
And kick goes up there by Big as they move down into the Loyola 22 again.
Well, Binghamton started so well the first half. They've started really well in the second half. The thing is, they kind of flattened out. They got stuck in where they were. I don't know. I think it's difficult to know where the wind is going, whether the wind is for them or against them.
Yeah, I thought the wind was blowing a little bit at the back of Loyola right now, but it is kind of a swirling wind. And that attempted back inside pass there from the fly half doesn't work, but we're going to come back for an offsides penalty. And Binghamton just about 5 meters out.
And Loyola came up a little bit early on that line out, I think.
And there is
maybe they're
Healy
going to go for points.
going for
And
points.
yes.
Put them a fair ways up, but to go to 25 here, just 4 minutes in. All Binghamton right now, Alex.
Well, they want to keep that scoreboard ticking over, and if he gets it over, obviously it's not a done deal, but they'll have started exactly the same way in both halves, which is 10 points within the first few minutes.
Here we have Healy lining it up. Very purposeful approach here. There's two props standing around him like bodyguards, and Healy, no problem, slots it through there.
Well, this is very impressive from Binghamton. As I said earlier, they lost 110 to nothing a week ago. But they put it out of their minds. They knew also that the game just sort of fell apart. They subbed in some guys. There were a number of issues there, and sometimes you just have to sort of forget about something. It wasn't our day. Didn't work out. And the coach said he didn't really talk to them about it. He just said, let's just go to work.
Another well-contested kickoff. Something really coming along in the college game is a realization to contest on the kickoffs there as the ball moves on. Little soft hands there from Justin Delcher, the loose head prop for Loyola. And
oh, my goodness.
Oh, boy. Pickoff there. That was telegraphed from far away as Greg Linane is going to take it in for a try here for Binghamton. And floodgates starting to open here.
Well, they were very slow on that. They was very slow. As you said, telegraphed. You knew how it was going to be. They're very slow, not thinking about the pressure. And because Binghamton had set a pretty good defensive line, Linane was in a position to take a gamble. If he missed it, there were still guys to play defense behind him.
And try awarded right into the post there as Healy's going to have an option on the shot here to put it to 32-12. 20-point margin. Just less than, just less than 10 minutes gone in the second half. So we got 30-plus minutes to go. This could be a tough half for Loyola if they don't get something going in no short order.
Well, how about the Empire Conference, huh? Yeah. You know, they got pushed around last week. They played a 6-team crossover series with the ECRC. Top 6 teams from Empire against the top 6 from ECRC, and the ECRC swept that series. But then those teams turn around, 3 of them come here, and Fordham played well against Delaware, lost, but played well. Stony Brook beat Rutgers, the Keystone runners-up, and here Binghamton is looking really a well put-together side. Mistakes? Yes, but they've got talent, and they've got a way that you know how they're playing. You know what they want to do.
Binghamton there bringing in the ever-present Lynn, blindside flanker, involved in that contact area as the ball comes back there. 15, Benelli moves the ball on, and that's replacement back there in number 21. That's James Acousti.
They lost that ball forward, trying to catch it, and Binghamton gets it back. This is what they didn't do in the latter part of the first half. Binghamton was keep the pressure going.
Yeah, and I was just about to talk about how much he's put himself into this game as Coppola in the second half. Right there, he put a little pass back. He probably shouldn't. Somebody knocked it on, but really his presence has been absolutely felt in this for Binghamton in these early days. Just 8 minutes in, and he could make a difference.
He gets a lot of work done. He's playing prop for Binghamton as he gets older, and I asked him about rugby, and he said, I'm all about rugby. I love the sport. I want to play it wherever I go. He's a hooker, I think.
Yeah, he looks a bit more like that to me.
He's a men's club hooker for sure, and they would be very pleased to have him.
Scully finds his way to get the ball out in the midfield, and number 13, Preston, correctly takes the ball into contact, and Gianniscoli again puts one up, and he's got Castillo chasing it, and the ball bounces inside the 22. Let drop there by Connor Horan, and Connor Horan belts it back down. And the ball right into the hands of one of these Loyola players. There goes the hooker Higgins, the Del Barton product. And again, Lynn over there to take the ball in, and driving it forward with a pick and go is Kinzer.
Well, they've held him up.
They're
doing a very good job of holding him up.
Referee Britt is going to have to whistle this soon as Loyola continues to move forward. Now ball to the deck, whistle, and well done there by Binghamton. It's going to be a scrum to the green of Binghamton.
Griffin Ryan, Ashkan Asemi, Those guys right in the middle, holding up the ball carrier. His knee, if his knee hits the ground, then technically he's tackled and they got to let go. His knee might have hit as the referee was trying to move around, but really, to all intents and purposes, they held him up brilliantly and then stopped that thing from going anywhere.
Binghamton now defeated. A little bit of a bounce in there. Ball to number 8's feet. And well played there by Kinzer. Great play by the scrum half for Loyola. And Loyola now on the roll through Cahill. Cahill doesn't know any way to go except straight forward and hard. And ball down there for Kinzer. Moves it across to Gianniscoli. Gianniscoli puts it into hands. Frick played so well in the first half. And a penalty coming, a penalty advantage for diving over against Binghamton. Well played by Loyola there, and still life in this team here as Kyle Higgins.
Well, that was a iffy tap by Kyle Higgins. The ball didn't leave the hands. I don't like the taps that I've been seeing, which are just sort of grazing the ball with your foot. Is Higgins. It'll land at the back there. Moves it out to Gianniscoli. Gianniscoli just pops it back in there to Cahill. If there's a man you want with the ball in hand inside their 22 for Loyola, that's probably him. And now we're moving wide again as the ball comes out to Preston. Here we go.
Looking his way through. And was that Frick?
That was Higgins.
Oh, that's Higgins out wide is the hooker. Sorry, I just saw the 2 on his back there, and that is the sophomore Higgins. 19 years old, putting down tries in this bowl series.
He actually scored the most tries for his team this season, and now you see why he gets himself into scoring position, and then he just took off. Now it was much better from Loyola, and really just the key for me there was Cahill going forward, and then he engages in contact. You notice he doesn't go upright; he stays with his torso sort of hunched over, his head down, his shoulders forward, and just keeps pumping his legs. So after contact, he goes another 5-10 meters. That got his team on the front foot. That ended up leading toward, sort of a desperation penalty from Binghamton.
Here's a sophomore Gianniscoli to try to add some points here. It's 32-17. The kick pushed across the front of the post. And it is 32-17, Binghamton over Loyola. You know, Alex, let me just throw this out here that I thought in the first half Binghamton started really well, and Loyola as a game was able to keep their concentration going in that first half. Second half, we come out to a roaring start here from Binghamton. Loyola now just chipping their way back a little bit.
Yeah, there's plenty of time to go. We've got about 27 minutes left. It's 32-17. It's 3 scores, but it's certainly doable. You look at, they go get a try, whether it's converted or not converted. Then they're within 2. Just as you said, chip away.
Loyola comes down with a kickoff there.
I think you're probably seeing a little bit more kicking as well from Loyola, trying to get into the opposition end and then see what happens from there.
And a nice little dummy there, I think from Delcher.
We're held up again.
Oh, and the ball is taken over there by Ashkin Asemi.
There's your wrestler move, right? Hold him up, immobilize him, and take the ball away, but he lost ball in contact.
Asemi, like a semi-truck, just takes it down there, and ball gets pushed down. I work with Matt McCarthy too much. And into the number 15's hands is Connor Horan. And now we have some runners. The ball comes to the number 8, Brian Burke, Nassau County native. Now to Healy. Healy puts it in the inside center's hands, and Richards covered up by a few tacklers there from Loyola. Healy once again throws that dummy, decides that his outside guys aren't worthy of his attention, and takes it into contact.
Both teams have to watch out for the predictability. And we've seen a couple of interceptions from just being, obvious about it.
Pierce Butler, the scrum half, spots some space there, and little pitch and goes from the back here as we see Greg Linane, recent try scorer in the second half.
Well, Linane is just keeps them going forward in all kinds of different ways. And Cahill there, that was dumb, and that's very dumb because he will be yellow carded. He was coming back from an offside position, could have let the ball go by, and then everything's fine, but instead he disrupted the play.
He could not have been any more offsides on that
Right.
play. Alex,
And that's
coming back, that was just a silly thing to do. There wasn't even good play on the part of the scrum half from Binghamton, who could have easily just bounced it off him for a penalty.
that is the lesson there. You know, if you're coming back from offside, you put your hands up to show that you're not part of the play, you're just trying to avoid things, that's fine. Everybody knows that that happens. But if you go in and you disrupt the play, you get carded every single time. Or you should be.
And looking to just push the scoreboard ahead a little bit more here is Healy.
The wind blowing the ball down on the ground. We've seen that a couple of times.
Healy has the ball where he wants it. Let's see how he does in the wind now. And
Oh, that's beautiful.
No problem there. Well
Absolutely
kicked by
beautiful.
Healy. Just fantastic. And 32, 35.
35-17.
35-17.
You know, it's. We talked about early on that Healy is a good kicker. He missed that one easy conversion, and that was because Frick had almost charged it down. But he just keeps that scoreboard ticking over.
Yep. Made a huge difference in this game. Has Healy really adding some structure to this Binghamton side as Gianna Scoli again.
And that's going to go out on the full.
The wind takes it that time. Tough wind, and we're going to have a big mistake after some points put on him by Loyola. Loyola with one of their key players in the sin bin. And Jimmy Cahill. We're going to come back for a scrum at midfield. Referee Britt presiding.
Scrum center, a really nice attacking option for a dangerous back line.
And here is Binghamton coming off the back through Brian Burke. Burke makes some ground, moves the ball forward there.
There
And
he
Healy
goes.
now. Finally the show and go works for him. And puts it off, a quick offload there to one of his teammates. And they have some runners out wide here if they want to go, but they're going to keep it tight as barreling over the top.
That's Griffin Ryan. He gets to the breakdown pretty quickly. Very nice.
And there's ball in hand. This should not be a problem here as Coppola, standing out in the back line now, is wearing number 20, the loose head prop, and touches it down. No problem for Nick Coppola, and he is really showing some of that experience. He's a all-conference select for ECRC for the last 2 years, and making his case.
Well,
again.
he's really I'm really impressed with him. And what I liked about that entire sequence was that's exactly what you're supposed to do. You know, you've got a scrum center. You better win a solid scrum ball.
Yep.
Then run a move. And here they ran an 8, 9, 10 move. Now they've got an overload. Healy goes through. He's tackled, and he doesn't try to do anything more than that. He allows himself to be tackled, and then the following up. One of the guys that made it to clear out was the hooker, the guy who's right in the middle of that scrum. He gets out of there, along with people like Chet Curtis and Billy Cusack and Brett Rothberg. And they go in and win that ball, and immediately it goes out hands to somebody who's open.
And Healy again, no problem. We are at 42-17 as Binghamton looks like they're starting to pull away from Loyola University, Maryland in this URugby Bowl Series matchup.
And this game might get away from Loyola, but it's still been a very competitive game.
Yep.
There's 20 minutes to go. Cahill is not a happy camper, but he should be aware that he got yellow carded. And he just sort of got his arms crossed, probably because he's cold.
I think A is cold, and B, I think he might think he's playing hockey, that after they score he gets to come back in. But
yeah.
No, he's got to wait a little while longer.
I think they
as
should
the
do
kick
that,
goes
by
up.
the way.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. But here we have ball held up at the
That's
moment.
Matt
but
Richards, the
things go
center.
down. And number 6, Billy Cusack, another wrestling background player there. Undersized flanker again, but getting a lot of work done as the ball goes out of the midfield for
This is
Binghamton.
beautiful. This is really good stuff from Binghamton.
Binghamton through a semi there is starting to look good, and Healy again. That time the show and go doesn't work as Gianna Scoli has him well wrapped up. And penalty.
Way down on the ground. They went
Yeah.
straight down on him. That was William Gooch
The Gooch.
landing on his stomach on top of the ball.
Gooch, according to his bio, is from nowhere. And homeschooled. But ball goes back there and marked well by one of the
You know,
Loyola
my
players.
favorite one of these bios is one where they list what awards you've received, and it says no awards received. This is Jack Longus, the lock, and then underneath it, my goal in life is to win an athletic award.
We'll see what
Well,
he can win.
the lights that we're going to be using for the post-tournament show almost got broken by the ball being kicked into touch. John Ciano just saved one of those lights.
And be a line out here to Binghamton after a well-marked ball. See, my favorite note on one of those things this weekend was a guy that said his favorite superhero is Alex Goff. Check your roster from UMass, Alex.
Oh, that's funny. That's hilarious.
And looks like we have a change coming. And Castillo, the Fairfield Prep product, who I might have coached, is moving into the scrum half position here for Loyola. Just a freshman at the school, but a really handy player. He's got a great future ahead of him. And Binghamton takes
Well,
it. Healy
that-
can't handle that one.
Well, he pushed it backwards, and referee Britt said, let's keep playing.
And the mulleted Griffin Ryan brings it up.
Sounds like an animal. The mulleted Griffin Ryan.
It is a good mullet, good hair. And a little option pass goes out there to the wing.
And that's Joe Lapinto.
And right over the top there is the number 7 for Brian Wright
Brian.
for Loyola. And referee Britt wants to have a little bit of a conversation here, and I think Wright might be seeing yellow, unfortunately. I would hope not.
Brian Wright has a scar on his body somewhere that looks like Kermit the Frog from where he once spilled boiling oil. It's on his leg, apparently. That's a story.
Yeah, hopefully comes up with a better
Don't
fun
try that
fact
at
than
home.
that.
Don't
Yeah.
spill boiling oil on yourself.
And Healy now has a look at the sideline.
Okay, now I'm just staring to see if I can see the scar. Now, Kermit the Frog, like his face or like the whole body?
That's a good question. Action shot. And we're going to have a line out here to Binghamton inside the Loyola 22.
Off the
Have a
top in
3
the
minutes.
long flat pass.
And they go to the front after a little dance move there, and Coppola
Oh.
puts it out into the midfield. Healy now finds a runner, a little switch
Oh,
there,
nice,
coming back in.
nice.
Well done as Lynn once again called on to make a tackle and moving it back across the field in a very planned move. It's in Billy Cusack's hands.
Loved me a
And-
2-3 switch move. That was very in the midfield.
Yeah.
And
Coppola looked like
almost free from it, but it worked well enough. They did lose the ball forward, though.
And Coppola looked like he was going to move for another try there, but bashed in one of his other players. We're going to have a scrum here for Loyola, but with their backs against the wall against their own zone there. So we will see how this goes as Castillo now called upon to put the ball into his first scrum. Castillo feeds it. A lot of pressure on him, but gets the ball back there. Gianna Scoli off that educated left boot, puts the ball in.
That's a nice catch from Lapinto.
And Lapinto finding his way across the field, but puts the ball into Lanane's hands. And a little knock on there. And Cahill is going to come back into the game. Or maybe not.
Well, he was back in. I think they took him out.
So we're going to have a scrum here again to Loyola. About 15, 16 minutes to go in this URugby Bowl Series matchup, where Binghamton leads 42-17 over Loyola University, Maryland. And Castillo, Alejandro Castillo again to put the ball in.
Well, Loyola needs to get out of this part of the field. If they want to mount a comeback, they've got 15 minutes to score 25 points. A very big task indeed, but it starts from getting out of your own half.
And still in their own half is Healy. Healy puts the ball on there, and the ball gets into Lenane's hands. Lenane makes a nice play there to Lapinto. Lapinto inside the 22. We got room on both sides here as they decide to give the ball to Chet Curtis. And a little bit of a pass behind there. Healy can't handle. Ball comes out to Coppola. Coppola not afraid. Takes it forward, and then Binghamton here losing a little structure. Just needs to get it set and try to find a way to move it as we go. Coppola.
There's Coppola again with the offload, and he turns around so he can see who he's passing to.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be a no-look Magic Johnson type deal.
And ball back into another knock-on. We're going to have yet another scrum for Loyola down here. A scrum here. Alejandro Castillo to put the ball in for Loyola University. A bit of pressure on it. Ball squeezes out. Referee says that's fine. And off goes Billy Cusack. Billy Cusack turns it over in this certainly game of turnovers. Ball in the swirling wind as Lapinto looking for his way through. The Gooch misses him, number 3. Now ball goes wide to Healy. Healy yet again throws a dummy and tries to find some space. And ball down in the corner. Try awarded there. Binghamton extending their lead to 47-17. Not sure who came up with that try, but we'll find out.
Well, they kept the ball alive. It was a little bit risky stuff. It was a little bit scary, I guess. But that's what they like to do, is to keep that ball alive. They're a physical team, Binghamton, but they also just keep that ball moving. And that was, in the end, a nice wide pass out there. And I saw who scored. Just not exactly sure.
Yeah,
And he points out to the guys who set him up. It's just good pressure from Binghamton at this point. Binghamton, another one of the teams from the Empire, who Frick tries to charge that down. Another one of the teams from the Empire that had up and down season. And John, I believe, was that Reader?
Sorry,
I think that was Hunter Reader. Actually,
and again,
I believe that was Reader on the right wing. Yeah, that's what I'm going to
now.
say.
Doing a little bit of everything, Healy, and wow, nice break up the inside there, and that's Lenane. He's just been outstanding inside center. Decides to steamroll Nicky Benelli. Benelli able to hang on to his shoelaces though and brings it down. And turnover number 650 during this game as Loyola heads back down the field. And ill-advised kick there by Brett Rothberg, the number 7, switched to soccer for a moment. And Castillo, the Fairfield Prep grad, gets it to the Gooch, the big fella, William Gooch, the homeschooled tight head. And tempers fray a little bit as a knock-on comes in there, and we're going to have a scrum here for Loyola. Matt McCarthy, Rugby Wrap-Up, what do you see in here?
Well, you said it. You called it correctly. It's been a match of turnovers. It's like anybody want the ball?
It certainly has been unusual in that respect.
Who's your man of the match if you had to pick him right now?
You know, if I was going to pick him right now, Nick Coppola, the prop for Binghamton, has just been tremendous. You know, just getting involved in all sorts of phases of play. No,
Coppola or Coppola?
Coppola. Tomato, tomato. And
Francis Ford?
Francis Ford. And the scrum half, the fly half has been good. Healy, but too many show and goes for me. He's not trusting his outside backs there.
And we've suddenly lost Alex Goff.
Alex Goff disappeared.
Goff is gone. Golfing.
And we are here with Matt McCarthy of Rugby Wrap-Up.
Always a pleasure,
Fame.
Mr. Broker.
As
the Binghamton weather
he has no lineups.
continues, and here's Mr. Goff coming back in to spare you from listening to me. Here he is.
Matt McCarthy, your lights are on.
And kicking it sideways there is Loyola, as they're going to have a scrum just outside the Binghamton 22. Under 10 minutes to go in this game. Binghamton University up 47-17 here at the URugby Bowl Series matchups. This is John Broker with Alex Goff and occasionally Matt McCarthy, as we're bringing you the final 10 minutes of action here. But stay tuned after this for our awards presentation, followed by our series wrap-up, where we'll recap today's games, tell you the guys we liked and their good names, and Castillo once again moves the ball.
John, we're seeing a bunch of new numbers now for Loyola. Loyola has a playoff game to play next week, and they've done a pretty good job. First of all, this is important for them. No red cards, and I haven't seen anything in terms of a bad injury, other than a bloody nose. That's not a big problem.
And that could be why they kept Cahill off. Just to keep
and at some point you look at that and you say, guys, let's just get some more people on the field. And I think that's a smart move.
And Castillo, the future doctor, moves it on there and tries to burrow his way through, but we have a penalty for Loyola about 5 meters out. And referee Britt, if he's going to be fair, is going to have to start looking at this Binghamton defense with a yellow card in mind for the rest of the game.
Well, we see that at the end of a game, somebody's desperately trying to keep them out again. And here's the talk and say, no more. The management, the game management by the referees has been really, really good this week.
Ball goes wide there to the wing, and no arm up yet.
Yeah,
try
we're good.
Loyola late in the game takes it.
The touch judge flag went up for a second there, but then he pulled it down. I think what he's trying to say is he touched it down first before he went. Whatever it was, everybody had a quick little chat about it, and they gave the try.
And that is James Biggs Acousti for Loyola, freshman political science major. And his fun fact is that he looks like Nick Jonas.
No, he doesn't.
I don't think he does.
He's across the field from me. I can tell you right now, he doesn't look like Nick Jonas.
I'm not as big a Nick Jonas fan as you are, Alex, so I'll leave that with you. But
somebody told him that once.
Well, it could be a wrong number again. So we apologize, Loyola parents who keep sending us messages, but we'll see here. And 47-22, Loyola, late in the game here, pushing it on, but it looks kind of a foregone conclusion at the moment, as Binghamton in no particular hurry to get this game going again.
Well, the Devils have been in the details for sure, and I'm very impressed with this team. I think there's a lot of players on Binghamton who do a lot of the work that not everybody wants to do,
A good take
and
there
they
by the
continue to
Gooch,
do that.
the tight
And
head prop.
at the same time, we've got some skilled players. If you've got one of your skilled players as a prop, you're in good shape.
And there was Christopher Lynn, the freshman, who has been all around the park today. And for Loyola, great future ahead of him. Good 3 years. The Colorado native playing down at sea level here. And Castillo, another freshman, moves the ball on to Justin Delcher, another freshman. So this is a young team here for Loyola. A lot of good big players. I think they got a good future here as they move the ball wide.
Well, this is also the purpose of the bowl series. Get some challenging games, learn something. And Loyola won their conference. They won some games pretty, big, and you get used to something. You say, we do this move, and it works. But what if you're playing against a team that gives you a slightly different defensive look, or they're more physical, or they're faster? Something that changes how you approach this, and suddenly you realize, well, we can't do that the same way anymore. A lot of teams just get that little shocked look. They don't know what the plan B is. Maybe they've been told what the plan B is all season, but they've never had to execute plan B.
Frick there with a little kick in behind as Binghamton, number 24 for Binghamton, for Loyola, never learned how to tackle.
Asking for a shoulder charge penalty. He's lucky that he didn't really hit him square up.
And our route rolling is up at 23, so we'll just call him 24. As the ball comes back to Binghamton side, barreling over the midfield, down about under 5 minutes to go, as another Peaky Blinders haircut comes out into the game. Number 23 there for
Devin Murray.
Ray Henry.
Oh, sorry.
On my list here is Binghamton rolling out the subs here and swinging around the outside there to Lopinto. Lopinto has a good line down there in the corner, but hauled down by the Loyola defense. And there he is again. Ray Henry, replacement scrum half. Peaky Blinders haircut. And back to Coppola. Coppola looking for yet another try right up the middle. Henry, who's the Healy. Healy makes himself a little space, gets it through there. And here we go. Right near the try line is barreling defense and uncoordinated defense from Loyola. And
Discombobulated?
Discombobulated. I was mixing up my words there.
Discoordinated.
We have 3 minutes to go in the end of 6 games here. I'm allowed to have a couple
that's
of
right.
verbal slip-ups at some point. So,
I'm looking for the try score there. Number 3.
We'll see in just we're trying to get the number up here. And
well, it was a bouncing pass. It was a wide pass. It bounced up nicely, grabbed it, just went into that gap. The organization breaking for Loyola as the subs come on and the combinations change, things like that. I would say that was number 3, except they don't have a number 3.
And it's 52-21 with a kick to come from Healy. And Healy hits that one. This kid's got a pretty good boot, the Gaelic football player. And we are on to the last couple of minutes of play here. I almost thought we were whistled for the end of the game there. But Loyola, I think the referee called off that version, to be honest.
There we go. I was just doing the math, just making sure I've got it. And 7 tries for Binghamton, 3 penalty goals by Healy, and 4 conversions. And you do the math, that adds up to 52.
And Loyola not done. The Gooch, William Gooch, the homeschooled tight head, comes in to make a big hit. He's not done with his game here. The last couple of minutes on the kickoff. And Healy once again takes it on there, and ball scooped away by Loyola. Here's Loyola on the charge. Loyola's number 19. takes the ball in, and there's Lynn one more time. The freshman barreling his way towards the line.
You see there's a lot of fatigue coming in now. These players, it's tough, it's cold,
And here
it's
he goes,
late.
the Gooch headed for the line, and William Gooch, the junior finance major, scores a late try here for Loyola University, Maryland. And I don't think a late comeback is in the offing, but great effort there.
Well,
in the last 2 minutes, William Gooch has just been super involved, and the junior really making a difference.
They haven't stopped playing. It's been very difficult. I think the Binghamton obviously was executing a little bit better. Things were working well for them. Very impressed with several players on the Binghamton side. A lot of guys doing some grunt work. Griffin Ryan, I thought, had a really nice game at hooker. Pierce Butler did the job at scrum half, and Matt Richards at outside center, and Connor Horan at fullback. All those guys played well. Our top three, Nick Coppola at prop, Brandon Healy at fly half, and Greg Lenane at center. I think those are sort of gimmies as the best players on the team. And Brandon Healy, not perfect, but he really got that offense moving. He allowed himself time to set up other people, and with them scoring 7 tries, and Healy didn't score any of them because he's there to set other people up. I was very impressed with how he managed.
All right, and that's Alex Goff, the expert on his players of the game. There is maybe one last show here as we're into referees time.
I'm looking for one more, John. On Loyola, Maryland. So Patrick Frick and Christopher Lynn. We talk about them playing well, and we were very impressed with Jimmy Cahill. And my hesitation there is simply that the yellow card was somewhat costly to them. A yellow card he didn't have to take.
With a big left boot has had a good
well, that's
effect
true.
on
I
the
think
game there.
maybe we do that.
And that's it. Binghamton 52, Loyola 27 here at the Bowl Series. As this matchup comes to an end, we're going to be bringing you awards, and we're going to bring you a post-game show. In just a moment, this is John Broker. I'm here with Alex Goff from Goff Rugby
pleasure.
Report. I'm here with Matt McCarthy from Rugby Wrap-Up. I'm here with Ryan Trost from This is American Rugby. And just stay tuned because we are going to be bringing you the post-game show and awards in just a minute.
What's special is that it has everything that makes academic medicine great. We have the fellowship-trained specialists, but we still bring the style and type of medicine that's indicative of a community practice.
We are all trained in our area of interest and expertise, so our patients see a doctor who specializes in their particular injury.
I did have 2 consults with major New York City hospitals, but I just felt that the care was best here. I was treated like a rock star. The surgery exceeded any expectations that I had.
Check 1 2, checking the microphone. Check 1 2, checking the microphone.
Hold on, we're gonna get one more guy.
All right, we're on, I think.
Let's go live.
Good afternoon, good evening. This is John Broker here at the URugby Bowl Series Championship. We've just wrapped up an incredible weekend of rugby, and just wanted to bring you a couple more minutes, unless we fly away from Kansas, and talk about today. I'm here with Alex Goff, Goff Rugby Report. I'm here with Ryan Trost from This Is American Rugby, and I'm here with Matt McCarthy from Rugby Wrap Up, 3 of the premier rugby writers in America out of the 4. We're going to recap the games today. We're going to talk about some of our favorite players. We are going to talk about some of the best names that we heard. And then we're going to wrap up and talk about coming back next year. But let's start with the first game of today. We had the Blue Hens of Delaware and the Rams of Fordham in a really physical game to start off the day. Boys, you were in the booth. What was your take on it?
Well, it was really tight early on, halftime, 17-15, and we were impressed with the hard running from Fordham, and we thought maybe it would go that way the rest of the way. My pick had been Delaware because I thought they were toughened up by a Rugby East season. Turned out to be the case. Second half, Delaware said, "You know what? We're gonna win something. We're gonna end this with a win." And they took control. John Abram, his final game for Delaware after helping bring that team back from suspension, very emotional for him, and he did a terrific job.
Right. And you rooted against Delaware in your picks there, Ryan.
I wouldn't say I was rooting against them.
You picked
at all.
against them.
Clearly rooting against them.
You're right on at
Jeez.
halftime, right?
I was close to halftime, but no, I think Delaware, like you said, came in very hungry, and they decided at halftime that they were going to fight through whatever they had to fight through to do it, and they showed patience and they showed tenacity, and I was very impressed with Tommy Abrams. A lot of smart plays and really leading his young guys, and Osanubi, he's got a great future in front of him.
All right. Yeah, just a fantastic game. And just, for me, my favorite part of that game was that Struan Murray didn't give himself a heart attack. Calm down, coach. It's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. Very vocal coach, very passionate on the sidelines, but really wanted to see his boys perform, and they certainly pulled it out. And, we'll move on to the next game because, what was that? University of Massachusetts Minutemen played someone.
I don't know.
Who did they play? Matt McCarthy?
That would be the University of Buffalo, Bob.
University of Buffalo, notorious alumni. Matt McCarthy.
University at Buffalo. Right?
University at Buffalo, the Bulls. You can sing the song.
Buffalo. Put them all together and you get a Buffalo.
Great game there, very physical, but somebody had to come out on top. What were your thoughts on the game?
I thought it was a great game. UMass, the Minutemen, played 80 minutes of rugby, right? And they lived up to their name. University of Buffalo, 4 seniors in the lineup, young team, but those seniors played well. And we got some names to name later on in our name contest, and one of them is going to be the man, Mr. Singh. But they played a great match, 2 great programs. Tip your caps to the Minutemen.
And the Minutemen came away. Buffalo, really good game, really physical game. A couple of big boys on that Minuteman team made a lot of difference in my book for them. They just had a lot of power coming through there. and were able to pull that one away. And then our final game that we just saw here was Loyola University, Maryland fell to Binghamton University, probably the two teams from furthest apart geographically. And just a great way to end it off. I don't think the score line was indicative of how the game went. I thought Loyola was a little more structured in some ways, but
Sure.
Binghamton pulled it away. Alex?
Well, you know, first half, Binghamton scores 10 points, and then they're pinned in their end for a good portion of that first half, and it looks like it's going to be, you know, on a knife edge the whole time. But then Binghamton just started to really sort of roll downhill. They did have the wind at the back, and they used it. They've got a great goal kicker in Brandon Healy, and we talked about Nick Coppola, the short of stature but big of heart prop, lots of skills, lots of running. Lots of smart rugby, and they rolled at the end, and I understand. I thought Loyola showed a lot of flashes.
Anybody else thoughts on this last game?
You saw that too?
Yeah, I really liked Binghamton coming out hard right in the start of that second half and putting 3 scores on them. Bang, bang, bang. And then it was just all uphill from there for Loyola.
And Loyola, got to say, you know, just never said die. Really came at it the whole time. You know, playing into the 80th minute there, scoring a late try. A lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores in that team. I think we're going to see a lot more out of Loyola in the years to come. Great Jesuit school down there in Maryland, drawing a lot of players in with previous rugby experience. I think it's a fantastic thing. We're just going to take a minute here, and we're going to talk about our favorite players for the weekend and great players we saw. And I'm just going to steal some people's thunder right now to make it hard for you guys and talk about the undersized flanker. Nandarjeet Singh from where?
From University of Buffalo, that's right.
And Lynn, the Colorado boy, Christopher Lynn on Loyola, Maryland. Work rate, work rate, work rate. Unless these guys hit a growth spurt in the early 20s, they're probably not going to go on and play national team rugby because they're, you know, 5'7", 5'8". But work rate, work rate, work rate. We're involved in everything and just had a huge impact on the game. Players that stood out for you guys?
Well, you know, one of the players that we didn't get an award to was, and I'm forgetting his first name, Murray, number 8 for Delaware. You know, he just cleans up garbage. And
Terrence?
it could be Terrence. And Baker. Excuse me, Murray Baker, the number 8 for Delaware. You know, and that's the thing. He's doing unsung things. I'm going to remember his name. And Strohan Murray said to me about him is that he does all the things that most players don't want to do. And he revels in that. And, you know, I tip cap to that one. And, you know, well, actually, I've got another one, but when we talk about names, I'll talk about him. So.
Okay.
I would say from Fordham, the captain, number 4, Lambert, right? No, not Lambert. Daniels. He was excellent, and when they lost him, a big difference happened for them. You know, they were having a hard time staying organized in the D.
All right. What University of Buffalo player stood out for you?
Well, a couple of them, but, you know, the obvious one was the undersized, unsung Singh, to steal your line from earlier. But Colton Kells, the captain, normally a flanker, playing number 12, played a whale of a game. Will Burke, prop, who's got some skills, to say the least. But on the other side of the ball for UMass, I think it was Ruther.
Yeah. Mike Ruther, the Fairfield Prep grad.
Yeah, he was the difference maker, the tall guy, reddish hair. He was dominant in the lineouts, and it forced University of Buffalo into some strategy where they didn't opt to kick to the corner. Instead, they took a scrum, you know, late in the game, and it turned out to be a pivotal mistake.
All right, let's move on to our last segment here. We said it yesterday, we'll say it again. Everybody loves a good name. I'm going to make it harder for everybody else again because he's homeschooled, he's a junior, he's hard to miss. His name's William Gooch. The Gooch. The number 3, the tight head. If you're as old as we are, or I am anyway, you remember the Gooch was the bully on Different Strokes. The Drummond family had to deal with him in school, and we had the Gooch out here. The Gooch played a hard 80 minutes. I love you, brother. Favorite names?
Well, the name I'm going to go is also a player I thought did extremely well for Fordham, and that's Max Zhitnik, the son of Alexei Zhitnik, former NHL player. A very, very good player, hard-running flanker, loves the contact. And I asked him about it. I said, what does your dad think about you playing rugby? And he says it's man's game. So, you know, it is a man's game. And he means that not to denigrate women who play rugby. He means it is a strong game. And it is you need to be strong and you need to be powerful to play it. And he respects it. And Max Zhitnik, for the name, for the pedigree, but also for the play.
All right.
For names, I'm going to go with Zephyr Lambert.
Love
and
Zephyr.
Also for play, some unheralded stuff that we've talked about yet. He was really good all day. A lot of work rate for a big body like that.
All right, great. And finally to you.
Well, I've got three. I've got my man Jack Longest from Loyola. You know,
Nice for him.
yeah, just Jack Longest. How you doing? You got Spencer Shorkey, the Shorkmeister from UMass, and what seemed a collective favorite. Thank you very much. There's only a 5-year English degree from University of Buffalo. Meninderjeet Singh. All right?
Absolutely. Sing loud, sing proud, buddy.
And we were able to say that name all game. We were pretty impressed with ourselves. So this has been the URugby Bowl Series for 2016. Thank you to Iona College, hosting it here in New Rochelle, New York at Mazzella Stadium. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you to URugby and their amazing staff. Steve Ciano, Amy Ciano, keeping everything in order. Jimbo Ciano, John Ciano, newly named Lex Ciano, another brother in the family. Thanks to everybody. Thanks to Grace. Thank you for having us. We look forward to seeing you next year. Colleges, you know you want to be in this bowl series. Come back and join us. I'm John Broker, again with Alex Goff, Ryan Trost, and Matt McCarthy. That's a wrap for our weekend. We're going to stop talking for about 2 days apiece, and we'll see you next time.
That's special is that it has everything that makes academic medicine great. We have the fellowship-trained specialists, but we still bring the style and type of medicine that's indicative of a community practice.
We are all trained in our area of interest and expertise, so our patients see a doctor who specializes in their particular injury.
I did have 2 consults with major New York City hospitals, but I just felt that the care was best here. I was treated like a rock star. The surgery exceeded any expectations that I had.